Hey Ridley, how's it going? Oh, sorry, I did it again. Hey Goggles, how's it going? Hey Nolus. I'm just doing my usual shameless self-promotion. Hey Sarah, how's everyone today? Yeah, sorry about that, Goggles. I'm not that great with names, so I sort of have to rehearse everything in my head, and it's sort of yeah, I'll sort of I'll make a concerted effort to unstick it. Hey Jan, and Yakuza Like a Dragon. Yeah, I keep meaning to check out Like a Dragon. Yakuza as a series has been one of those games I've not really sort of played, but looks kind of neat, and I kind of want to see the whole JRPG thing it's got going. Yeah. Anyways, I've already worn out my voice, doing a thing for D&D tonight, so let's see how this goes. Sweet. What's on the menu today? No idea, you just need to use up broccoli. Fair enough. I've actually found broccoli goes surprisingly well in a stir fry. For what that's worth. Right. No less, you have curiosity towards the Yakuza series. Okay. Oh, good. Webcam's working. Game capture's ready. Just to check, by the way, can you all hear the fan on my computer? I've been fiddling around with audio levels, so I'm kind of worried about that. The voice is kind of noisy. There aren't any game sounds playing yet, so... Yep. Now we're on the title screen. That should be the game sounds. If you stick your ear up right to the mic, you can just about hear a fan, but that could be phone fuzz. Okay, fair enough. Voice is quiet, but about as much as normal. Yeah. Nick's been saying that there's that problem with Discord. Well, in any case, everything seems to be working. Yeah. To be honest, I keep getting people saying everything sounds a bit quiet, but I think my voice is literally just that quiet. March the 22nd, 2:14 PM. District Court, Defendant Lobby Number 3. Okay, so obviously I said this in the tweet when I was going live, but basically Adrian Andrews has a suicide and suicide ideation probably featuring in her backstory, so yeah, consider that the content warning.
Dude, I can't believe that Adrian. No way. Not cool. Not cool and collected Adrian Andrews. She is your manager. It would have been very easy for her to pull this off. The only person who had easy access to the knife you used at dinner was, well, her. So after the ceremony during the break, huh? I was sleeping like a log the entire time. See, she could easily have planted that blood-covered button in your hakama. Because she was the one that came to wake me up. Then, dude, you're saying it really was her? Yes, she's the real killer. She is the one who murdered one Kurita.
Yep, quiet voice gang, Sarah.
But why? I thought she was buds with one. She has her own agenda. Her own agenda? What are you talking about? I'm sure you'll see by the time this trial's over. It'll be alright. I'll get you acquitted by the end of today. Get me a verdict that's refreshing like a spring breeze. Okay, Mr. Lawyer Dude?
Phoenix, you think her motive is related to Celestine Pax's missing suicide note, right? Tsk, her own agenda? Yes, her own agenda, Goggles.
Yes. Miss Andrews depended on Miss Impacts as her strength and reason to live. But then Miss Impact suddenly killed herself. It sounds like she left a suicide note, and the person thought to have hidden it.
Is one Kurita the victim of this murder?
And that's why I think Miss Andrews got close to Mr. Kurita. All to get the suicide note back.
That sounds plausible. But one thing bothers me.
What?
How this character's being written. Seriously. Who was it that first told us about their relationship? Better stated, Miss Andrews' dependency issues with regards to Miss Impacts.
It was Edgeworth.
It looks like he's still the one in command of this ship. Don't let your guard down yet. I can't stand my voice today. March the 22nd, 2:25 PM. District Court, Courtroom Number 3.
Court will now reconvene. Now then, Mr. Edgeworth, if you please.
The prosecution calls the witness subpoenaed by this court. Hey Amanda, how's it going? Miss Adrian Andrews, the person who discovered the crime in Mr. Juan Kurita's room. My voice is lovely as usual, but you get it. Thanks, Sarah. What is your occupation? I'm the manager of the defendant in this case, Mr. Matt on guard.
I see. Now then.
Before we begin, Your Honour, I have one request. You're learning digital music production, Amanda. That's cool.
Yes? Sure. What is it?
I'm sure everyone in this room is wondering the same thing, and would love to find out more about my relationship with the victim. After all, it was the topic of a certain weekly magazine recently.
No, I have no idea what you mean. I never even heard of Gossip Land.
You've mastered the text glow. Now you just got to find a sound. Nice.
If the judge was ever a prosecution witness, he'd do all my work for me.
Anyway, I was wondering if you could please tell us about your relation to the victim. Yes, I was saying, Mr. Creeder. I was also aware of the rivalry that existed between Matt and Juan. But this was a private matter between Juan and myself.
So it was a fry and bait matter? Or was that a bait and fry? Reminds me of fishing.
But I didn't kill him. No one is accusing you of that. I think that's someone who would beg to differ.
I think we all understand your relationship with the victim now, Mr. Andrews.
Very well then. Witness, please testify to the court about what happened when you discovered the murder that had taken place. When I found the body. It was time for the show to start, so I went to get Matt from his room. After that, I went to Juan's room, and there was his dead body. I was in shock. Yes, no less. Oh, she reported, you mean found the body, huh? What I saw was naturally the exact same scene as in the crime scene photo. I felt as though I was just about to faint, so I poured myself a glass of juice.
You poured yourself a glass of juice?
Yes. Sadly, I didn't remember not to touch things at the scene of the crime, and I disturbed the crime scene by moving this one thing. And that is when the fingerprints on the wine glass were made, Your Honour.
I see. Well, Mr. Wright, you may cross-examine the witness.
Phoenix. She is one cool and collected customer, and she has the brains to match.
Yes, I know.
In order to catch a person like her, you have to avoid head-on confrontations. You should disrupt her pacing.
Disrupt her pacing?
She's the type of woman who's easily thrown off by things inconsistent with her thinking. Geez, just at me next time. So you have to attack when she least expects it. The instant you let up your offence is the instant that his trial is over. Understand? Okay, let's start pressing.
And what was Mr. On-Guard doing at the time?
He was taking a nap. Hey, Froy, how's it going? Joe keeps telling you resemble this woman, Amanda. Yeah, I can see it. He was worn out from his mini performance as the Nickel Samurai during the ceremony. Oh, good is good, Froy.
Mr. On-Guard did say he was taking a nap. Then I guess you could say it could not have been taken out of his room, yes?
Excuse me? What are you? Right? I thought years of school would have taught you how to construct a sentence. If you can't make a sensible sentence with a subject, then I'll make one for you. Watch. Did you, Miss Andrews, remove Mr. On-Guard's knife from his room? Yep, just turn into a blonde Amanda. This reminds me, I need to get my hair re-dyed. Hello, Sparklecorn. Thanks for the raid of 12 viewers. Could we get a shout out for Sparklecorn? Oh, hey, Cara, how's it going? Welcome, raiders, then. I'm BisectedBrioche, a trans woman streamer. I stream. Thanks for the shout out, Nolus. Yep, I stream Let's Plays of single player games. Occasionally I cosplay. For some of us, it doesn't come naturally. You're right. But on Fridays, I stream Phoenix Wright. While doing silly voices. And sorry for pausing mid-sentence there, I've got a bit of a sore voice today. What was your last stream? Swedish/English, you've become a farmer and you're streaming Stardew Valley. Nice. Presumably it was Cara who brought you here, so thanks for that, Cara. Oh yeah, can we get a shout out for Cara? Thanks again, Nolus. Sarah, you thought I was a bleach blonde too? Yep, I am. Although to be fair, my hair does look kind of blonde on camera anyway for some reason. But my natural hair colour is a light brown. Goggles says his 8-bit do needs repair. Yep, one of us, Amanda, one of us. Well, anyway, hey raiders, I'm just going to continue streaming, so pull up a chair if you like, or, well, stick around, don't stick around. If you like this, give me a follow, and thanks for raiding. And once again, sorry about my voice. Yep, Sarah, if you don't have blonde, store-bought is fine. Right. No. Subject, verb, object, right? Did you skip basic grammar? The witness may continue. My voice is lovely. Is it, Amanda? Well, lovely or not, it's very sore.
And why'd you do that?
As a friendly gesture, one was to make an appearance with the other heroes.
So the show was supposed to be a show of friendship, huh?
Okay, press further.
Is that the only reason?
I beg your pardon? What are you implying?
You had a certain goal in mind when you started to get close to him, correct? So perhaps you had a more personal matter to discuss with the victim.
Sorry, but I didn't have any such intentions in mind at the time.
I can't get to talk without a strong piece of evidence, I guess.
May we continue now? Witness, what do you see when you got to his room? Alright, for the raiders who just joined, by the way, this particular witness has suicide and suicide ideation featuring prominently in her backstory, so just consider that a content warning.
You were in shock?
What? Was I not supposed to be?
Miss Andrews is a very calculating person, and despite how close they were, I doubt she had romantic feelings for Mr. Corrida.
Hope I don't lose my voice for D&D. Yeah, I should be fine. Obviously, it's a short stream today, so I'll have time to recover.
Anyone stumbling upon a dead body would be in shock. And you can't seriously expect as a young beauty like her would not be shocked.
Wow, patronising much Edgeworth? To be fair, my character is a, mime, so that should be pretty easy on my voice. Oh, thanks for the host, Invisible Girl. Also, hi.
Somehow, I don't think beauty has anything to do with being shocked or not.
Unless, of course, you go by D&D mechanics and, remember that both run off charisma.
I see. This is the photo you're referring to, correct?
Yes, the one with the knife lodged in his chest. Yep, no less. Phoenix with the comparably less misogynistic line for once.
And the guitar case was like this too.
Okay, Kara, happy fooding. Thanks for the lurk and have a good meal. Yes, it was open and empty, of course. Oh no, it wasn't. And then, what did you do next, witness? The description for the guitar case specifically says... it had water on the top, so...
Juice?
Yes. There was a bottle of tomato juice on the table, so I helped myself.
But you didn't drink any of it, did you?
Huh?
There were no lip marks left on this wine glass to suggest that anyone drank from it.
I wasn't feeling terribly great, so I set the glass down, without drinking it.
Miss Andrews, I would like to confirm with you one more time. When you discovered the dead body of one Corrida, you were in great shock, and that's when you poured yourself a glass of juice, correct?
And what of it? My mind really was a complete blank at the time.
Your mind was complete blank? I didn't think that was possible for you.
Aren't you rude today? I mean, he's rude every day. I was so dazed that I made one careless mistake. That one thing.
What one thing?
Never mind. It's no big deal.
What was she starting to say just now? Miss Andrews, I'm convinced that, as you said, you made a mistake at the scene of the crime. What I really want to know is what this mistake was. Actually, so would I.
I'm sorry. It's kind of embarrassing. You're going to steal that, aren't you, rude today, Amanda? To be fair, it is a good line. When I set the glass down on the dresser, I accidentally knocked the flower vase over. Hey, flared jeans.
Flower vase? Are you talking about the one on the floor in the crime photo?
She just needs a hug. I think she needs her personal space respected to be in my personal opinion.
This mess of glass shards?
It was originally on top of the dresser, but when I bumped into it with my elbow, it fell onto the guitar case.
Why did you withhold such an important piece of information?
I'm sorry. I thought that since the crime scene was already in disarray, that people would simply assume the vase was just another part of the mess.
It looks like yet another fact has come to light here. Please add this and anything else you have to reveal to your testimony.
I'm sorry, but I have nothing more to add. I didn't touch anything else. Oh, yes, you did.
What kind of flower vase was it?
It was a glass vase, and it was fairly big and heavy. I thought I would try and take one's pulse. So I set the glass I was holding down on the dresser. And that's where my elbow accidentally hit the vase. Yep, with enthusiastic consent, Amanda.
That's odd. I thought she was always in total control of herself.
That's what she would like people to think. Always be mindful of the gap between your perception and the reality.
It doesn't sound like there's any glaring contradictions in her testimony just now.
I warned you earlier that she would not crack so easily. The only way to make her is to
keep on the offensive and not let up.
The only way you're going to catch her is with some very strong, decisive evidence.
I have to find something. I just have to, for Mayor's sake.
Okay, so, if I recall correctly, the description for the guitar case says there's water on top of it, so... Just gonna save. See you in a moment, no less.
You testified that you knocked the flower vase over. Is this correct?
Yes.
And are you sure it fell onto the guitar case?
Is there some problem with what I said?
It's not some problem. It's a major problem. It's true that the top of the guitar case was wet with water. However, that's exactly what's so strange. Miss Andrews, you testified that the vase fell onto the guitar case. However, if that was true, then the case should have gotten wet on the inside, not the outside. That's very true. Furthermore, there's one other strange thing about this guitar case. And what's that? Let's take another look at the crime scene photo. The remains of the vase are scattered on the floor. And what's wrong with that? If the guitar case was open when the vase fell, the glass shards should be inside, not outside the case.
Oh, Kara, you and your ice rod theft. What's your point, right? The case was closed at the time the vase was knocked over. Is that all?
No. Think back to what Miss Andrews testified to. She said that other than the vase, she didn't touch anything else. Yes, that's right. She didn't implicitly say that she didn't touch the guitar case.
But this whole matter with the guitar case is a dead end. The bright red guitar was found at the studio. It has no bearing on this case at all.
That may very well be. However, the empty guitar case does seem to have no relation to this case, doesn't it? It seems that there is no deeper meaning to the guitar case. Well, Mr. Wright, do you think we need to hear more details about the guitar case?
Yes. I suppose the hint was we need to keep pressing her, so...
The empty guitar case. I believe this is a crucial piece of the puzzle.
I can't believe anyone would reach for straws like this, but it is you.
I can't believe I'm doing this either. Alright, I'll follow along for now. Miss Andrews, please testify to the court about the guitar case.
Yes, Your Honour. I don't remember too clearly because I was a bit dazed. I suppose I must have opened the guitar case after I knocked the vase over. It's not a big deal though, right? The case was empty after all. As for why I opened the case, even I don't know. I'm sure Gumshoe said the same thing.
It looks like this wasn't really a very important point.
This wastefulness is such a familiar feeling by now. It's almost comforting.
Anyway, I'll just go ahead and start the cross-examination.
Using anyway to change the topic. A convenient escape for a weak man. Yep, that's a burn alright, Amanda. Was he hiding the note in the case? Pretty weird place to hide it. Yeah, it's kind of weird he'd be carrying around at all. Who knows, maybe the note's a red herring. Anyways, before we continue this cross-examination... Yep, thanks for the TSMR emoji. It's the eye contact that gets you, Sarah. Oh, thanks for the hydrate, Amanda. Did what not post, no less? Oh yes, it posted. You and Sarah both successfully used it.
During your testimony just now, did you remember those events clearly in your mind?
It said the name of it the first time you sent it. Well, it's shown up for me. Okay, Amanda has redeemed any objections lady mode, which is not really applicable to Phoenix, right? Oh, showed up for Sarah as well. Yep, I'll refund you that, Amanda. Since you, well, there's not really any abilities to ask permission to use here. Yeah, I forgot to turn it off after my Metroid Prime stream on Wednesday. You just need to get rid of the points. Well, sucks to be you. I'm going to refund them and you can't stop me.
During your testimony now, did you remember these events clearly in your mind?
Well, you see. They keep you up at night. Well, you could always stop No, don't stop watching my streams. Keep accumulating points. Watch my streams.
Are you sure you're the one who opened the guitar case?
She's waiting for someone to tell her if she should answer or not.
Sounds like her dependent side is taking over.
Okay, seriously. This is really what you're going with, game. Spam modified emojis? Why not?
Well, Miss Andrews?
Yes, it was me. Yep, good use of a quote there, no less. Nintendo? No, wait, Capcom, sorry. Nintendo Force of Habit. And yes, this character's writing Sarah. Yep, I wasn't expecting a confession this quick, no less. Yes, it was me. Case over.
So you opened the guitar case then?
Yes? Well, maybe.
Why'd you open the guitar case?
Huh?
Mr. Kurida's dead body was right there in front of you, wasn't it? I'd think that the first thing you'd do is call for help, not open a guitar case.
As the witness has said multiple times, when she found the dead body, she was dazed. Maybe I was curious to know if the bright red guitar was alright or not. I thought maybe the criminal took it.
Why'd she care about the bright red guitar?
But, getting back on topic...
Was it really empty? I was just wondering if maybe when you opened the case, the guitar was still inside.
How long have you been a lawyer, Mr. Bright? Have a little professionalism. The bright red guitar was found at the studio. These trials will be over in half the time if you would just pay attention.
Yes, pay more attention, Mr. Wright. Sorry.
Yep, the lamp shading, Amanda. The lamp shading.
Was that because you were shocked and dazed at the discovery of the victim's body?
Yes, that's probably it.
I'm not going to get anywhere if I continue pressing her like this. The only way to make her talk is with evidence. I guess I should give it a try.
Come on, Phoenix. We can't afford to let up on her now.
I wasn't planning on letting up, but...
She's at her weakest now. This is our chance. Nolis, you missed Sparrowson. The game had kind of a shit ending, but you still miss him. Yeah, to be fair, I got the worst ending in my Avery Attorney stream, so... But yep, Sparrowson was precious. The samurai lair.
Yeah, if we had a weapon to hit her with.
I'm sure the weapon is hiding somewhere in the court records, waiting to be found. Okay, see what we've got. Oh, it's only got Kurida's fingerprints on it. You thought Sparrowson was a samurai lawyer? No, Sparrowson's the assistant from Avery Attorney. I don't actually remember her. Oh wait, I think there's a samurai lawyer in the spin-off game set in the past. But I haven't played that yet. Okay, let's see if the fact it's got Kurida's fingerprints on it.
There's no way you're the one who opened the guitar case.
Why'd you say that?
It's elementary, my dear. Because the only fingerprints on this guitar case are those of the victim.
Ah! Also in the future. Huh.
What is it, Miss Andrews?
You shouldn't assume that I must have left prints just because I touched the case.
What do you mean?
Spiritum was like if Maya was a bird and also had the attitude towards law of a Night in the Woods character. Yep, you're right, Nolus. Who's cute, Amanda? What if I were to tell you I was wearing gloves at the time?
Gloves? But why would you be wearing gloves at the time?
It was the night of the award ceremony, so of course I dressed up for the occasion. You literally left gloves on the glass. Yes, now I remember. I'm almost sure I was wearing a pair of thin gloves.
I see. Well, Mr. Wright, it seems the witness was wearing gloves at the scene of the crime. You were wearing gloves? Isn't that a little strange?
Why is that strange? Do you have something that would prove I was not wearing gloves at the time? Ding.
I have your proof right here, in this wine glass.
Yeah, she is cute, isn't she, Amanda? I think I kept saying it in the last stream, but she's basically Samus Aran, but shorter. Am I wearing light blue? To be fair, I suppose if I had a halter neck tank top, I could closet cosplay her. Well, maybe next week. So this is why Joanna's with you. Precisely.
I have your proof right here, this wine glass.
The wine glass?
You left your fingerprints very clearly on this wine glass.
Wine glass is starting to lose all meaning.
Even if you just took your gloves off when you poured yourself this glass of juice, wouldn't you think it was just a little strange that you put your gloves back on just to open the guitar case?
You even have clothes like the one she wears. Nice. Nolus. Andrews looks like Samus, he looks like Bree, so Bree plus blue equals cosplaying Samus, Bree plus blue equals cosplaying Andrews as well. Yes. Amanda Adrian Andrews. Precisely, Goggles, precisely. Yes, Amanda, double the cosplay, double the fun. Although, to be fair, I'd need to wear a pair of glasses. Hey, Kiara. Oh, you can finally talk in chat. Was there a problem?
Order! Order! Order!
Amanda Adrian Erin Andrews Aran. That's a long list of alliterative names. Looks like you hit the nail on the head this time.
What do you mean?
Aran Andrews flows better. Yeah, I guess it does. Aran Andrews. I believe the guitar case plays a very important role here.
But it's just an empty case.
I wonder if it really was empty, though. You'll write that up for when you change your last name.
But the guitar, the bright red guitar, was at the studio.
Amanda Erin Adrian. Works. Yeah, I guess it does, no less. Phoenix, drop all your presumptions. What was in the guitar case was not the bright red guitar.
You don't mean it was a bright white guitar? Wait, that's not right either. I admit it would be unnatural for someone to do that. So the witness was not wearing gloves, despite the fact that's on the case. Your Honour, this is obviously the defence's usual misdirection tactic at work. Steer the court towards an unrelated topic and lull us all into his misguided... No, Your Honour. Please recall that Miss Andrews had testified that the vase fell onto the guitar case, which means that the case was closed when the crime took place. However, it is wide open in this photo of the crime scene.
Yes, Goggles is correct. Edgeworth needs to be nicer to his husband.
I am sure this guitar case has some relation to the murder.
I mean, he's just being professional, really. I'm sure it's nothing personal.
If you're so sure, right? Then I'm sure you can somehow substantiate your outrageous claim. Correct. Wait, I'm sure you can somehow substantiate your outrageous claim. Correct?
Yeah, that's the right inflection. Yep, that's right, Amanda. Lovers quarrel.
Please, enlighten us to why that guitar case has anything at all to do with this murder. Can you do that, Mr. Wright? Well... Let me just say before I decide. Let's suppose for a second that the bright red guitar was not the only thing that could have been in the case. The bright red guitar not being the only thing? You don't mean to suggest that a bright black...
I mean, Phoenix and the judge aren't wrong. It could have just been a different coloured guitar. But obviously it would have to be a purple guitar. Thanks for the quote, no less. So, you intend to push your theory that the case was not empty. Is that it, right?
I wouldn't say something I didn't intend to prove.
Deflate that head of yours. You haven't proven anything yet. Now then, let's have it. What was inside the case at the time of the murder? Okay, could be the camera. Okay, I'm gonna go with the camera. Goggles, deflate that head of yours. Edgeworth, please. Bedroom talk outside the courtroom. And why would something like that be inside a guitar case? Let's own this one.
Why, Mr. Wright? Why? Well, I just thought it might have been possible.
I have a suggestion. Why don't you put that in the void where your brain is supposed to be?
Yes, and never bring it out again. Can't a foolish fool get some love?
Do you still think you can prove your theory? Can you prove the guitar case was not empty at the time of the murder? I'm not even going to go there, Sarah.
I wouldn't say something I didn't intend to prove.
Okay, I guess we're going for the suicide note then. Okay, guess not. Oh, thanks for the hydrating posture, Sarah. And another hydrate. Thanks, Amanda. That's right, no less. Can't foolishly forget some love. Not while he's at work. And another hydrate. Okay, what would be in the case? Okay, someone started a poll. Best vet dates with Edgeworth. Eat ice cream at the beach, play billiards, go swimming, hiking, or library. Okay, as if I need to ask, but who's responsible for this poll? I know you're in the chat, Bean. Goggles says he wishes it was him, but he's on mobile. You plead the Shaggy, do you? Anyway, it's a bad poll because the obviously correct answer is a romantic day at the court. Welcome back, Froy. I'm trying to work out what was hidden in a guitar case. No less, you should have voted billiards. What if Phoenix doesn't know how to play pool and Edgeworth has to teach him? Yes. It's always... Yep, you're right. It's Goggles. It's always been and sometimes Talia. A girl's you barely knew taught you how to play pool by damn near draping herself on you. So for some people it's flirting. Well, well, well. Okay, maybe it's the knife? Nope. I could be in trouble here. Okay, the poll has been called, and the answer is apparently library, with 3 votes. What would have been inside the case at the time of the murder?
This is a photograph. Yes, but what's important is what's in the picture, Your Honor. In this picture?
No one else would make a history pen about golfs if you knew about history.
It doesn't take a genius to see what I mean. What I'm proposing is, inside the guitar case was the Nickel Samurai, the hero's very own costume.
Goggles. Been these dates.
What? Mr. Wright, explain yourself.
Kiara, damn internet. Was there a hate raid while the internet was being disrupted here? Nope, I don't think so. Or if there was, it was a very quiet one. Unless you mean on Wednesday, in which case, yes, there was. But I think you already knew about that one.
Right? Are you saying the witness opened the guitar case to take out a costume? What insane point would there be to doing something like that? That insane point would be to wear the costume, of course. Miss Andrews put it on to hide her identity so she could make her escape. After all, you couldn't let anyone see you leave, could you, Miss Andrews? I refuse to accept your theory.
No less. Hate raid with 0 followers, where the raider just says, play other once and bounces. To be fair, that is probably the one thing they could say that would get me.
Do you have anything to support such a preposterous idea? Just outside the door was an investigative photographer who was starving for a big scoop. And in the end, she managed to get this shot, correct?
Yep, that's my berserk button, Kiara.
You mean this photo? Order! Order! It looks like we've wandered into quite another mess again, haven't we?
First date with Edgeworth. Again. This time the winner, worst first date with Edgeworth, would be a Chris Nolan movie, apparently. I think arson would be an excellent first date. Don't at me. And yes, she appears to be wearing bell bottoms or flares. Nice job, Phoenix.
Well, you know my strategy. Speak first, think later. So the real murderer was hiding inside a costume.
Thanks for the quote, Bean. But don't use that out of context, please.
Wait 1 second, Your Honor. The Nickel Samurai's costume would have been Mr. Matt on guards. Why would something of the defendant's be in the victim's room? And inside the guitar case of all places. True. This is a little baffling. Mr. Wright, the court would like to hear your thoughts. What was this nickel samurai costume doing inside the guitar case? It was a spare costume. Mr. On Guard did not take his costume off during the break period. In that case, the costume we're talking about was a spare one. What? Then, are you saying that on the night of the murder, there were 2 nickel samurai costumes at the Gatewater Hotel? Yes, that's it. That is what I'm saying.
Pants or trousers, bell tops, pepper tops. Never change, Bean. Never change. Yes, no less. This is getting out of hand, meme.
And just how do you explain the costume that was inside the guitar case? It would mean that the victim himself had brought this spare to the ceremony on purpose. But why? The victim, Mr. Kurita, was the Jamming Ninja. Why would he secretly bring the Nickel Samurai's spare costume with him? What could be the reason behind such a peculiar act? And therein lies the sticking point. What are you mumbling to yourself about now? Have you just been rambling all this time without any sense of inner monologue? Huh? No, I just...
Mr. Wright, please explain yourself. Wait.
Mr. Wright, please explain yourself.
I'm getting the voices mixed up now.
Why do you think the victim had the Nickel Samurai's spare costume?
Phoenix, are you sure you can explain this one? Think carefully before you answer, and then answer with gusto. I believe in you. Yep, Mia does not believe Phoenix is a fictional character. Of course, that's exactly what a fictional character would say.
Alright, this is what I think. The reason the victim brought the Nickel Samurai's spare costume to the hotel was...
going to impersonate him at the show, I guess.
What's this? On the night of the murder, after the stage show, the Nickel Samurai was going to hold a special press conference. A press conference? Yes, the Nickel Samurai is supposed to confess something at this conference.
I heard about this as well. For once you're not making something up, right?
But what struck me as strange was that Mr. On Guard himself said he had no idea he was supposed to be holding a press conference that night.
Yes, no less. The judge said.
Oh? What's this? But how can that be? The way I see it, that can only mean one thing. The press conference was set up.
What is even going on in the chat right now? Why are you talking about trousers? Bean's fault. Yeah, that tracks. And yes, it's also true that leather trousers are made of leather. And this is going to be very confusing for anyone watching this on YouTube who can't see the chat. Like, comment and subscribe.
By none other than the victim, Mr. Juan Kurita himself. The victim? Yes. The spare Nickel Samurai costume was prepared for that very conference. Mr. Kurita was going to hold the press conference as the Nickel Samurai.
Pardon me?
He was going to dress up as the Nickel Samurai and hold a conference? But why would the victim do such a thing? That's something I don't quite know yet. However, what I am concerned with right now is what he intended to reveal at that conference. The Nickel Samurai was going to confess something. And by confess, I wager he was going to reveal something about himself. Which means that one creator, posing as the Nickel Samurai, was going to speak about Matt on Gars. Yes, I guess that's what it would mean. But if that's the case, that's not a confession, that's public disclosure. I mean, he's not wrong. Miss Andrews? I can see why you're pros and what you do. Oh. Hey, Joe. Oh, thanks for the subscription. Lovely stuff. Well, Amanda's been here for a while, so presumably you're also having a nice evening. And thanks for the sub. I've actually been seeing more of them. I guess the whole reduce the price of sub things are actually paying off. Yep, Amanda's been disclosing all about your first date at the golf club. Speculation is that it was actually a Visigoth club. Anyways, I can see you're pros at what you do. You can't believe you weren't subscribed. Oh, I appreciate the subscription. Alright, you're living in different cities for a while. Fair enough. You do both travel a lot. Pardon me? Yes, just as you say. The press conference was set up by one. Miss Andrews, please offer us an explanation for this. I was the one he asked to help set it up. And the person who prepared the second costume for him, that was also me. Dun, 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 dun. You? One had bet everything on the jamming ninja this year. And if he lost the Grand Prix, he was going to make sure Matt was going down with him. That's what he thought, anyway. He was going to ruin him? Huh? It looked somehow one had in his hands a secret so powerful that it would destroy Matt's acting career had it been revealed. What? But why do you need to do the whole steal the costume thing when he could just reveal it? Like there were literally tabloid reporters standing by. Yep, Kiara's also a goth. And a very cute one she is too. What? And what do you know of this secret of Mr. Engars is? And do you know what the secret of Mr. Engars is, Miss Andrews? That's something only one knew. I don't know what it is. Ah, I see. I've probably been coming off quite suspicious to everyone. But that's to be expected. I've been trying to protect Matt, after all. But protect Mr. Engars? Yet again, another strange bit of truth comes to light, it seems. Miss Andrews, if you could please tell the truth about your behaviour. Yes, Your Honour, I understand. Protecting Matt. Glossy can just burn in hell, I guess. From the moment I saw the crime scene, I had a feeling that Matt was the murderer. Matt had to kill one no matter what.
and he didn't have an alibi for what he was doing at the time of the murder. My thoughts were confirmed by the evidence, of course. The button and the knife. But I'm Matt's manager, so I felt I had to protect him.
This does account for everything.
Well, I am the logical type. We're finally seeing her true self. She is more nervous than a scared rabbit.
If the defense can find no fault with this testimony, I'm ready to make a ruling.
Yep, drama kids unite in the chat.
Please keep that in mind as you cross-examine Mr. Wright. Looks like everything has swung to the opposite end of the scale again. That just means I have to put my weight into this and turn her logic upside down. Would you say that that was your intuition speaking to you?
Don't confuse my methods of reasoning with your own.
Ugh.
If you want to prove that someone did something, you need 3 things.
3 things?
A motive, an opportunity to commit the crime, and finally, decisive evidence. Amanda, you basically manage your friend's video stuff, so Andrews is double relatable to you. Fair enough. And if yep, epic burn. And if you think these 3 things through, the answer becomes quite clear. You should already have known that, Phoenix.
They didn't teach that to us in school, at least not from what I remember.
May I continue now?
So would you say this need came from the press conference?
Yes. Do you know why one chose that event in the hotel for that conference? Because that's when he could cause the most damage to the public's beloved Matt and Guard. Phoenix was a worse student than you were, no less. I think he might be even worse than I was.
And you knew of this plan, didn't you, Miss Andrews?
Yes, because I was the one who set up the conference and prepared the costume. And she is very cute indeed, but clearly quite scary. Which, to be honest, goals.
But I'm sure Mr. On Guard himself didn't know anything about the press conference.
Oh, really? Can you show me any proof that he didn't know about the press conference?
Anyway, the important thing here is that the information was not in your testimony.
Yep, Amanda, the best kind of cute.
Yes, I agree. Miss Andrews, please correct your testimony, if you please.
Grasping at straws now, are we, Mr. Wright? Do you need to go to school to be a lawyer in this game? Phoenix did go to school.
Has Mr. On Guard done something to hurt or betray you personally?
Why do you ask?
You were the one who helped Mr. Creedy with his press conference. And that event was supposed to bring down Mr. On Guard, yet you still helped out.
The person on trial right now is Mr. On Guard, right? What the witness was thinking, helping the victim with his plan, is none of our concern. In any case, this means that the defendant had a motive to kill.
Why do I keep doing this to myself? But didn't you testify earlier that Mr. On Guard was taking a nap in his room? Are you telling me now that that too was a lie so you could cover for Mr. On Guard?
I don't know. To be fair, he was also Mia's understudy, so maybe he just got course credit for that. I'm not telling you anything of the sort. When I went to get him through the show, he honestly was sleeping. However, as to whether he was sleeping the entire time, that I cannot say. I was too busy setting up the stage at the time.
I keep trying, but I can find no flaws of what Miss Andrews has said. I can't say the same for the people in this here courtroom, however. The judge is glaring straight at Mia.
He's glaring at you, smart guy.
You can hardly call the knife decisive evidence. The fingerprints on the knife could very well be a clever camouflage.
Then, what about the button?
The button?
It's clear from the crime scene that the victim and his murderer fought. And during the fight, the killer ripped the button from the German ninja costume.
You're talking about this button, correct?
That button was found in the pleats of Matt's hammer. Is that correct? I'd think that it makes very decisive evidence. I am a streamer. Citation needed.
Yeah. Looks like you're outfoxed again, Mr. Wright. Anyway, the knife doesn't prove a thing. Please fix your testimony.
I can't stand the sight of a man who can't gracefully accept his defeat.
Thank goodness Mia can still look at me.
With an icy stare, yes.
Miss Andrews, for Mr. Wright's sake, please add this information to your testimony.
And how'd she know that? Okay. I guess that's not it. Cosplay suggestion. Adrian Andrews. Yeah, I could do that. Thinking about it, that top's probably quite similar to the one I'd wear for a Lara Croft cosplay, so I'll have to look into this.
But what you really did was stab the guy in the back, didn't you? And at the worst possible time.
Who's to say she really stabbed the guy in the back, as you put it?
This witness could have disclosed things about Mr. On Guard at any time. Why then would she wait until there was a large audience before doing so? It's the same reason why Mr. Creeder planned such an elaborate conference. Miss Andrews wanted to cause Mr. On Guard as much damage as she possibly could. This witness bears ill will towards the defendant.
This isn't the Phoenix Wright Wax Philosophical Power Hour, isn't it? And please, stop slandering the witness. As I expected, Miss Andrews' testimony seems pretty solid. Really? Wait, oh, should have used Phoenix's voice there. Really? Because to me it sounded a little wishy-washy.
Wishy-washy? Well, I guess we'll all see if I press a little more.
You should know this by now, but you'll need strong, decisive evidence to make her talk.
Go ahead, Chief. I'm going to pin you down this time, Miss Andrews.
And yes, everyone's right. Phrasing.
how do you know that?
When the ends of the threads were on the button and the costume were matched up, they were found to fit together perfectly. Or so I heard.
I've heard that before too. But why would Miss Andrews know about this case down to such a fine detail?
Don't look at me like that, just because I'm prepared and you're not.
And I thought I had it this time for sure. If there's anything to trip her up on it, it has to be here. But where and what?
Okay, so... Have you even made this quote in that stream before? Which one's that? Alright, the Spider-Man quote. Yeah, I think you've made the libel quote before. Okay, what proves that... Nope, that's not it either. There it is.
This is the victim's autopsy report.
Oh yeah, because he was strangled, so it couldn't have been a fight.
It clearly states that the cause of death was strangulation by a scarf.
Strangulation?
The knife stab to the victim was done after the victim had already died. And what does that mean?
Sorry, by the way, my voice is starting to go.
Let's examine the evidence. This button has the victim's blood on it, which would mean it was ripped off the costume when?
After the knife was stabbed into the victim.
Exactly, which means it's impossible that this button was torn off during the victim's final struggle, because the victim was strangled to death in that fight.
Yes, that's totally the theory I was going with when I selected that evidence.
That's right, Miss Andrews. There's no way this button was ripped off during the struggle. This button was consciously pulled off the victim's already dead body. Order? Order? What's the meaning of this, right? So what if the button was torn off the body after the victim had already died? What does that change? Let me ask you one simple question, Mr. Edgeworth. Why is the button torn off? What purpose did that serve? What purpose? We now know that this button was not torn off during the fight. So the murderer took time and effort to purposely rip off this from the victim's body. That would mean that the murderer had something in mind, wouldn't it? Mr. Wright, does this mean you know what the murderer wanted to do with the button? What was it? There's only one logical reason for doing something like that. It was to pin the crime on Mr. On Guard.
Nolis, your favourite quote about slanders from Discworld's veterinary. Calling someone's bluff, you think? Then if I were you, I'd sue my face for slander. Yep. When in doubt, it's always a Pratchett quote.
There's no way anyone would put a bloody button in their own pants. That's right, Mr. On Guard was set up. By the real killer, of course. And the real murderer is... Well, Mr. Wright, who in the world is the real killer then?
Peer pressure, obviously.
Finally. I can't believe I managed to bring this trial all the way up to this point.
Yeah, the Discworld series can be a bit daunting, but to be fair, there's lots of mini series and arcs, so it's best to think of it as a collection of like a dozen different interconnected series. Phoenix, you can't let your guard down yet. Not until the very end. Bean just got a reading order guide.
The real killer, the person who planned to frame Mr. On Guard is... Mr. On Guard himself.
Only joking.
Miss Adrian Andrews. I choose you.
I was not expecting a Pokemon reference there.
You are Mr. Karida's killer.
What?
Order! 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 Mr. Wright! This is a very grave matter. Do you have any evidence that supports your charge? Any evidence? All of the evidence points to Miss Andrews.
Yes, Cockles. Phoenix, please. But how preposterous. You can't stick any of that on me. Okay, Kiara, thanks for dropping by. Rest well. And, well, good luck picking up your estrogen. And yes, Nolis, Granny Weatherwax and Nanny Ogg are indeed good characters. You can't stick any of that on me.
I can't, can I? Would you care to test me?
Then what about this knife?
The knife was used to stab the victim after it had already been strangled to death. It was used to throw suspicion onto Mr. On Guard, naturally. A knife covered in the defendant's fingerprints can only be taken from his room. And the only one who had dinner with him, and knew which knife to take, was you.
But then... What about the button that was found in Matt's Hakama?
This button was removed after the victim from the victim's body after he had already died. The only people who could have done so were the person who found his body or the killer. However, if Mr. On Guard was the real killer, there's no way he would have put such an incriminating evidence in his own Hakama.
If you're an ace attorney, there'll be a sprite of you knitting, Joe. Yeah, that'll be an ace attorney witness. Yeah, that'd be good. And you could just sort of unravel it all when you got caught in a lie. Be like,
Ugh. The only person who could have put this button into Mr. On Guard's Hakama is the person who went to wake him up from his nap. Which is you, yes again, Miss Andrews. I see. What about the empty guitar case? There's also another piece of evidence that incriminates Miss Andrews. That costume was used to hide the real killer's identity as they fled the crime scene. Now, who could have known that there was just such a costume inside the guitar case? It could have only been the person who prepared the costume for the victim. And that person is you, Miss Adrian Andrews.
hey Nick. No, okay, oh yeah, D&D streams in like 50 minutes. But don't worry, I'm just finishing up here. But Miss Andrews, his fingerprints were nowhere to be found on the guitar case. And it was you who proved that she was not wearing gloves at the time.
That's right.
Yes, I'd be pouring tea as my ace attorney thing. Or would I?
That's because she did not intend on leaving any prints. If anyone had found out that she had touched the case, they would have asked her why.
I take it we've redeemed cosplay suggestion for Miss Andrews. Yes, you're correct, Nick.
So to avoid leaving any prints, she used a towel or something else to open it. But the glass of tomato juice is a different story. Miss Andrews purposely left her fingerprints on the glass to show that yes indeed, she was the classic dazed discoverer of a dead body.
Oh, thanks for giving Nick a shout out, Colourfroy. Nolas would probably be playing with a broken fidget spinner, and the freakout would have it go flying off and hit someone. Nice.
And to top it off, there's this photo. A photo of the killer as they exited the scene of the crime. No reasonable person on Earth can believe this nickel samurai is Mr. On Guard. He would be much too short for his own costume if it were him. Speaking of how tall people are, Miss Andrews, you're also kind of short in stature, are you not?
But please stop.
Well, how about it, Miss Andrews? I've got her this time. Miss Andrews?
I refuse to testify.
What was that?
There's a law. It says I can't be forced to testify about something if it can incriminate me.
Well, yes. You're absolutely correct, Miss Andrews. The law does provide us with a way to avoid self-incrimination by allowing a witness to not testify if their testimony can cause damage to themselves. What? Pleading the fifth is not something most people do on the spot. Actually, thinking back to yesterday in Mr. On Guard's room.
Adrian Andrews.
Yes?
Think hard about what we just discussed. Understood? All right.
That's it. That's when Franziska planted this idea into her head. She must have told Miss Andrews not to testify if things look bad.
You did a good job proving everything up to this point, Phoenix. But there's still one thing you haven't done.
Something I haven't done?
What's wrong, miss? What's wrong, right? Are you finished already? Run out of evidence?
What's so humorous, Mr. Edgeworth?
I'm sure you realise this as well, Your Honour. But everything the good lawyer here has proven up till this point is meaningless.
What?
Everything you've proven is circumstantial.
Circumstantial?
Yes, circumstantial. You've yet to provide a single piece of definitive proof. Proof that Miss Andrews did indeed, in fact, harbour a wish to murder Mr. Corrida.
Miss Andrews? Did you want to kill Mr. Corrida?
Okay, yes, this is dragging on a bit long, so I think this is right at the end, but I'm going to have to call it here, just so I can get something to eat before the D&D stream. So, yep, so we'll just find someone to raid. And obviously, at 7:30 I'll be on Nick's channel for D&D. Hopefully a rested voice. Yep, I'm sure you can't wait, Nick. I have an absolutely glorious amount of cringe planned for my character's speech, because obviously we're doing the evil campaign. And Nick has done zero prep. Literally every single player has done more prep than him. Which, you know, is fair. Glad you liked it, Jan. Firefox doesn't seem to want to load. And yes, it's going to be a time. While my food's cooking, I need to sort out some mime makeup. Some mime cup, if you will. Which is, to be fair, just going to be my makeup from the last stream, but, like, also I'm going to paint my face white. Because mime. Okay, Firefox is being a bit slow. Don't know why I was having handlebars there. Okay, Froy, thanks for dropping by. Hope you enjoyed the stream, and I hope you have a nice evening. Okay, who have we got? Okay, so none I really know that well's live at the moment, so does anyone have any suggestions? Oh, thanks for the hydrate, Sakura. I'm out of tea anyway. Okay, Bean says B-Boy Gage is on. Joe Cat is on, but he's on with Final Fantasy 14. Yeah, well, Joe Cat's pretty big, so I'd rather... Yeah, I'll raise B-Boy Gage. Oh wait, Summer B just went live. Well, I already typed in B-Boy Gage, so I'll stick to my original plan. So, yep, thanks everyone for dropping by. I hope you enjoyed the stream. Possibly see you later for D&D, and I'll catch you later. Oh, your internet's cutting out, Bean. Okay, have a good night then. You're welcome, Sarah. Anyway, raiding in 3, 2, 1, and let's go. And if you're watching on YouTube, like, comment and subscribe. LOL.